Let's wipe code scripture navigator or explorer. For example, let's say I took this Hindu scriptures and I want some simple application where the scriptures are categorized so that it is easy to navigate. For example, we got Shruti here, we got Smriti here, and then I could go to the Vedas. I could look at, let's say, specific Veda. There is an image describing it. There is a summary of what this particular scripture, and maybe some examples from that scripture. So I want to create something, a simpler app using wipe coding. So I'm going to use the Replit agent. So we will start with first collecting the data. So we will collect the data, build the app. Maybe we will build step by step, and then we can add some functionalities later, like adding those images and all those things, right? So we'll try to keep it, something that let's say I'm also not a front end developer, so we will keep it simple. So let's start first with collecting the data. So I will go to the Replit. Okay, so here is the Replit agent which I have, and we want to, let's say, create the web app. We can tell the Replit first, see whether it is able to collect this data. So we'll say first collect data about Hindu scriptures and categorize. So maybe we are saying that we can give certain details to it. Let's say we are creating a hierarchical learning of our Hindu scriptures. We'll say first collect the data about Hindu scriptures, categorize, summarize, and examples in a hierarchical JSON format. We are not giving any particular JSON format. Let's keep it this way. So let's not give any specific requirement and let it work just by this basic requirement. We could even do same thing with the, let's say, Perplexity. So let's go to the Perplexity for Hindu scriptures, and let's ask it to collect the data. So this is Perplexity Research, and I say, hierarchical, I need data in a JSON file. We can just run it. Perplexity also, if we get data here better, then we can use that data. I could do the same thing with ChatGPT also. It can do the research mode, or let's say deep research mode, so that it will collect the data about all the Hindu scriptures. It is asking some clarification questions. Should this include the major texts like Vedas, Upanishads, or also regional lesser known text? I think I would say let's stick to only the major texts. Hierarchy structure. Do you have a specific structure in my mind? For example, scripture, category, chapter, verse, for example. No, let's say I don't have any specific format in mind, because what it proposed, I didn't like that. Let's say depth of the content, I would say just a brief overview, nothing else. And preferred language should be data in English, Sanskrit translations, or the bilingual. So maybe why not have, let's say, the English and Sanskrit, even though I don't understand the Sanskrit. And what example? What kind of example are you looking for? Applications in daily life, stories, or quotes? So I would say here I'm looking for stories and quotes from scripture. Okay, hope this helps. Let's run this also. Meanwhile, we can go and check what has happened here. Okay, it is still Perplexity is still doing the work. If I go to the agent, what it did, it is named as a scripture tree. So here is the plan. It is saying that a hierarchical learning app for Hindu scriptures built with the React and Express.js. That is fine. Hierarchical display of Hindu scripture organized by categories. Okay, browse through the different scripture categories like Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, view summaries and examples for each scripture, navigate through the hierarchy seamlessly, search functionality to find specific scripture, and responsive design. This all things it has considered. Let's keep chatting. So we will say make it visually appealing and use Sanatan color theme. Hopefully it will do something better than this black and white we just saw. This is what the current one that it has generated. I think it's again updating its plan. Meanwhile, see whether we got the data. Oh, it is still going to do some 5-minute research. What about here? Okay, it's also started its research. So we just started to see what data do we get in the JSON format, and whichever data is better, we will use it. First, it should actually take the step of collecting the data, and then it should start ideally. It's trying to come up with a color theme for the Sanatan thing that what we have explored. Okay, so this is the new design that it has come up with. We can even start and then edit as we required. For example, instead of having this explorer here, we could ask it to have the left side sidebar, which can be expanded. We want to first say that first you should collect data, and then once approved, we should start design. Let's see. Let's go back to our, okay, it's still going on. This one is finished. So we got from the Perplexity. It has included what Itihasas, Puranas, Dharma Shastras. Where is the JSON file? Yeah, here. So we can download this JSON and have a look. Okay, so we can download it. Here is the downloaded, data. This is the main categories: classification principle, usage notes. Let's look at maybe the main categories. What it found? It found the Shruti, then it found Smriti. That is correct. Let's say Shruti. It again has a subcategories called Vedas, then Upanishads. The Smriti, it has found Itihas, Puranas, Dharma Shastra, it is Agamas, Darshanas, and there is an auxiliary text. I guess this data is good. We can use this data instead of the Replit own data. So we can provide this JSON file to the Replit. I understand you want to collect first data, search the web. So it is actually searching through the web. And let's see what it found. It is doing some Wikipedia search. Okay, so it got this data. There is the data about Vedas. Then each Veda has 4 subdivisions, Smriti, Itihasas. I think similar data, but here we got more structure, summary, description, all those details. Now it's again updating the plan to build that app. Meanwhile, let's see what ChatGPT is doing. It's still working. We should have taken this part, compile JSON in the scripture, including brief summaries and examples like stories, quotes, English. Okay, we should include this part, which Replit is not aware, I guess. Or rather than relying on his implementation, okay, let's read it and say, use this data. So we got the data, which is good. I think whatever the Perplexity has given looks good to me. Now it's updating its existing data structure. Okay, so here is the latest plan that hierarchical display using the provided JSON structure, browse main categories Shruti and Smriti, detailed view of scripture with all categories, navigates seamlessly search functionality across the text, expandable collapsible tree structure for easy navigation, and this responsive design. Currently we are just caring about this, but it's fine if it is trying to do. Let's approve the plan so that it start working. Now this might take some time because it started now. It might take a couple of minutes. So I will pause the video here. Okay, looks like agent has finished his work. Let's go up. So it took basically 9 minutes for agent to take all our requirement and basically build this first version. And this is some summary, basically what it has done. And it has costed us what, $0.76 till the point, which is like what, 70 rupees. And if you look at, see how to deploy, okay, maybe we could deploy this application. That's what it's saying. This is what it has built till the point. Let me see whether it has used anything related to images. This, what is the changes? Fine. These are the screenshot it has took. Okay, let's look at the application that it has built. Maybe we go to the preview. We could see here or open in a new tab. Okay, so this is how it looks. You got left side, navigator, and then it looks pure text. At least it should use some colors or icons to improve it. Then we see the main section here, which is, let's say, explore Hindu scriptures. And there are two, Shruti and Smriti that we can click on. This is the featured scriptures. I see some images got is created. Not sure whether those images came from the stock footage or generative AI, because Replit can generate those images. So if you look at here, agent tools, so it got access to the image generation and it got access to the web search. But looking at the cost and the actions, I don't see any image got created. So we can ask it to create the meaningful images rather than this stock images what it got. If I click on Shruti, I go here, but I'm not able to basically go through again from the home here, not home, or let's say main area. Let's zoom it a bit. And then I see the Vedas. If I click on Rig Veda, then I could see the breadcrumbs here so that I can navigate. So there are some tags added to it. There's the basic information about this, which whatever it got from the Perplexity. Instead of saying key features, we can say highlights or something like that. There is the subdivisions of each of this structure. There is a mandalas, and yeah, I think the summary is missing. Collection. Let's look at what was the data. If I look at the Rig Veda, what data we had? Yeah, it has only this summary. So that is the reason, okay, it is using this structure, key features, subdivisions, and all. That's why it is using this naming convention. So we could even, I think the data didn't have the examples. Ideally, it should have something, an example or the code from that. What data do we got here? Let's say this is the data from, let's say, ChatGPT. What data we got from the ChatGPT research? Categories of Vedas. There is the stories. Yeah, so this one is able to give us some title and some description and some quotes from it. This could be useful for us. If we had used this data instead of the other one, we got the Puranas, then there is the stories and quotes. So either we can ask Replit to update the, with the new data, but then it will also change the structure. Ideally, we should have, think about it by adding those examples. Maybe we can ask it to search for those and let's see how good it does the job. Okay, now let's go back and check whether this one is working. So if you search for, let's say, some different Vedas, so you search for the Ajur Veda, is it working? Search doesn't seem to be working. So let's go and give it some instructions to improve this one. First, see whether it can collect more data. So maybe we could use that same wording I think, include brief summaries and examples like stories and quotes. Since it doesn't have, maybe, let's say I would say find and include a brief summaries and examples like stories and quotes from each scripture. Let's see whether it is first doing that job. I just want whether it could, find those things. So we could look at its thoughts. I will help you add brief summaries, stories, and quotes from each scripture to enrich the learning. Let me first check the current issue and the gather content. It's creating the task list. But first it needs to find that information because we haven't given that information inside the JSON that we have given. Okay, it's trying to fix some code issues and it might take some time. Okay, it's doing the searching on the web. Hopefully, it will find those some brief or something. What if we could have given? But again, it has to match those names. That would be the again another work for it. Why didn't Perplexity didn't include the examples? Yeah, it doesn't have the example. This one does has the examples, stories and quotes. What Replit is doing? Okay, it has already searched. It is trying to find the famous story. Now I'm not sure whether it would be able to match with the existing data what it got. Okay, it's still gonna gather more specific. I was expecting it will look at, let's say, for each of the thing what it has and then update the data. Let's pause here. Okay, it has done some work. Basically, it is saying it's gonna update the JSON data after searching the web. One thing I noticed that this data is not that good. I guess when we ask it to basically major text only, then it omitted even the subcategories. So according to it, the major text was the Vedas, Upanishads, and all of those things. But what data it gives us, which is very high level, we got only Vedas. There is no specific Vedas, record here. Very basic thing. I could manually done this thing within 5-10 minutes, and it has spent what 14 minutes. I would say that instead of deep research, the web search would have done the better job. Let's see. Instead of deep research, the web search would have done the better job. It doesn't even require to web search. ChatGPT should be knowing all these things. We should have put examples as a quote or story for more better. Okay, here's we got the updated. It's still working, I guess. Decided on UI to display perfect. Now let me add UI components to display the rich content. It has added those things. Okay, so app is not working. Optimizing the agent memory. So it's still working on the app. It is saying agent is ready now. It has done those fixes. Maybe we go again. Let's click here and open in the new tab. Hopefully, it has added examples. Let's get to the Rig Veda. Yes, it has added this summary, significance, added some quotes and mantras from it, secrets. So it updated some data. What about the other ones? If I go to Itihasa, there is a 2. If I go to the Ramayana, let's look at it got summary, it got some code from it. Hopefully they are correct. So yeah, so it can update the data, and definitely you could ask it to, let's say, get more data, but we need to verify. I would say as a best practice, it's better we collect the data beforehand. It's always better that we have the data beforehand because if the data is wrong, then again, we have to do a lot of back and forth. So I would first just focus on collecting the data, verifying it, and then I would start building. Here, I just try to keep it raw to see, what happens. Okay, so let's enhance it. I see this visuals could have been improved using, maybe what if we ask it to just improve this thing. But first, let's test whether this, okay, not clickable. It's working or not. So search is not working, I guess. Let's add a couple of those things, text search is not working. Then we will also say that, that left explorer can be visually enhanced by using maybe, icons or something. We can look at the, agent thought process, what it is doing. So it created the task for it, I guess. So this is the web search results, what it got. Oh, at the start, no. We need to look at here. So it got this, it investigated the search functionality issue. It is saying it searched for a solution online. And now it is, decided to fix it, add more scripture icons here. It's trying to enhance now sidebar navigation. There is some issue with the sidebar navigation. We could see, the right side, we got some error. So it is restarting the application. Okay, looks that it is saying that it has fixed the search functionality, enhanced the search result display with the better formatting, added beautiful icons throughout the left navigation. If that is the case, let's look at again whether it has improved our navigator. Yes, there are some icons it has added. Vedas also it has added something better than the previous one, I would say. Got something. Not sure how relevant to the icon, but at least it looks better. Now If I click on this, it's not going back to the, okay, I could click here. Let's go there and search for Rigveda. Search is still not working, right? Or do I have to click here? Not sure, it's not working. Maybe say Ramayana. Or do we need to type exact word? Ideally not. Say if the search is not working. Once again, it says it is ready. Let's search. Okay, this time I guess it looks like working. We can even check here. I think the URL should be same. Let's do only refresh and search for Ramayana. Yes, but page not fine. So let's say that clicking on search result, let's say, got me here. Once again, agent is ready. It says, it has identified the issue that got when you click on search results, and hopefully it is saying it has fixed that thing. So let's try again. If you click on Ramayana, it is searching. When I click on it, it says no search results. Okay, it is saying try Ramayana. So what? We tried the exact thing. So here is a category, here is a text. Let's click on a text. Nothing happened. Category, no search. So search is not working properly. We can again say it's not working. So here it had done already the work of costing this much, but didn't fix anything. It just added the 404, but it didn't improve the search functionality. Listen, I can see the issue. The search page is not correctly reading the query parameter from the URL. The page shows no such query provided, even though the URL clearly has this one. Okay, hopefully it fixes. I think it has done the work. What screenshot it is capturing? Let's try again. It is saying it should work now. Okay, we got search results, but what about when you click on individual search pages? It is saying Rama, but we search for Ramayana, right? I want to search exactly this one. Still not working? Okay, let's say still not able to go on a specific result page. So this is what you have to keep, iterating through it, because many of the times it will say it has fixed that issue, but when you try it, it might not be, still working. But we see there is a progress. Earlier, there were nothing was happening. Then we got that 404 page if the results were not there. Then we got some results basically for that search term, but we are not able to go to any particular result. So let's give it a chance one more time and see whether we make any progress on that front. Don't worry, even if you work with a real developer, this all things will be there. You have to review their work, do yourself, testing, and then again share some simple issues that you have observed. It's looking at some syntax error. So let's again maybe pause for a while. Now it again says that it has fixed that issue. Let's try searching something. So we go to the search results page. All of them are matching with the Ramayana. If I click on it, yes, now we are able to go to the this particular. Then we're not able to go back to the home page by clicking the icon, right? So let's say go. It's working now. Not able to, let's say, go to home page by clicking, let's say, home page icon. This is a small thing. Should not take much time. It's just adding the link. So it is a header component. Logo and the title in the header aren't wrapped. So hopefully this should be a quick fix for it. And it has already done that thing, restarted the application. Now I want to add the images. Okay, if I click, let's go somewhere and then let's click on here. Okay, now it's working. Let's add this thing. I want this to be more visually appealing. So if I go to, let's say, particular, section, if I go to the four Vedas, I want some good image here which represent that way. So let's ask it to generate image for each Vedas that will, that will represent it. Add those images, each Vedas page, enhance, let's say, visuals. Let's say whether it is able to generate some good image for our each Veda, because as we saw, it have got access to the image generation tool. This will cost, okay, but yeah, let's see. Now it is trying to install the OpenAI, Google Cloud Storage, or whatever. Basically, I guess it will generate this image using OpenAI. It's generating OpenAI or it's generating Google. Let's see. Respective pages. Let me create an images that capture the spiritual essence of each Veda. That is what I wanted. So this is generated for Veda. What? Okay, this is what it generated. This one it is generated for Rig Veda. Then this is one for the Yajurveda. Samveda because it's related to the musical thing. And Atharva Veda related to the wisdom and knowledge. Okay, it has generated those things, but it needs to now put those images. So it's going to integrate there. It started integrating them. It has already done. That's why it started the application again. Maybe I look at here in the different window. Okay, so if I click on, let's go back to the home. Let's go to the Shruti. Nothing but yeah, these are the Vedas. So if I go to the Rig Veda, I see a beautiful image here that is generated, you know, to represent it. Then if I go to the other one, Yajurveda, I see the same image. No, no, it's a different image. So Yajurveda has this, Samveda. Okay, it's taking time, but yes, it is able to replace those, And then we got the Tharva Veda. So this is how you could even instruct it to generate the images that it can use to enhance our scripture navigator or explorer. Not bad. I think this is pretty good. I think here it couldn't find some details. Atharva Veda, I think it just found for some of the popular ones. So here in the popular Rig Veda we got some details. But yeah, as I told, we could create the more detailed data document that will help it to do this stuff. What about the other ones? Did it put any details? Let's go to the Puranas. We got this Puranas, Explore, Vishnu Puran. There is not much because it didn't have any of that information. What else we see? Let's look at how much it cost. Let's look at the 2 minutes of work and time work done, items read. This has costed mostly it would have cost of the images that is generated. But it has. You imagine if we had generated image for every section, the subsection, it could have costed more. So it just costed 40 cents, but it could have costed much. How much total we have spent? I think that is also something we should be able to see it. So if I go to the Replit dashboard, I should be able to see it. Here's the deploy button, so I can literally deploy this application so that everyone can access it. So let's deploy this application. You could select the configuration for the deployment. Let's say I will choose the minimum thing. Let's edit. I just require one basic virtual CPU, half a GB RAM, and I don't need three machines. Just one machine is fine. Like approve these settings to deploy. I could give it names, scripture tree. I think let's see whether it is available. Available scripture tree. Maybe we could get some better name. We can even add our own domain here. So for now, it's a scripture tree. Private deployment, not sure what is, I haven't used it. This is what it does. And we could do a run scan before deploying a run. But I don't think we need to worry about it. Let's deploy this one. Looks like the application, has been deployed. This is the URL, that we had selected. If I click on it, yes, this is publicly accessible URL and anyone should be able to, see this thing. So this is what I think I spent total maybe, maybe around 1 hour of my old time to build this thing because of the the time it took for the agent to do the work, sometimes 5 times 6 minutes or something like this. And I guess we didn't plan it properly, but that is how you work in reality. You're not going to spend time to spend 1 hour to create the requirement document. You're just going to do these things on the fly, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. If I had to improve this thing, I would basically spend some more time to first curate the data. And once we curate the data, then only I would give it to the agent to do the stuff. We saw when it does both the things, collecting the data and doing the work, it's not doing the good job. So I would rather collect it outside using, ChatGPT research or Perplexity research by giving more detailed instruction, what I want, summaries, code stories, all those things. And once I have that good data, then I would come here and basically, build this application. So this is what we got here finally. So it is hosted on this domain. There are two sections from the left side. We got Shruti and then we got Smriti. If I go to the Shruti, I could see there is a four Vedas and there is a Upanishads, and then we got Smriti here or Smriti, which got Ithas. I think Ithas means Ramayana Mahabharata. Then it got Puranas, and here in the Vedas we got four Veda. And we also generated image for each Veda. So if I go to particular Veda, let's say Rig Veda, we are able to see the summary of that Veda. Then there is a key feature or highlight that it is one of the oldest one. Then it contains the Gayatri mantra. Let me zoom it. And yeah, there are some quotes and mantras from the Rig Veda. There are some stories and teaching. This is how you could do. I think there is just not sure whether these all are working or not. We didn't tested them, but yeah, I think you could spend some 1 hour or 2 hour and build really something useful application that you care about. Nowadays, it is really easy to build something that you care about. because you don't need to hire a developer for this. Simpler things, you just can do it yourself. Hopefully you found this useful. I try to keep it raw rather than creating you know a detailed requirement doc or something. I try to keep it simple and raw so that we can iterate and see what mistakes we could do, how these applications behave. So we saw we didn't get the proper data here, we made a mistakes. Replit also didn't do the good job. And yeah, I hope you found this video useful. I'm thinking to create the series of such tutorials where I just start, not much with preparation, just start with the raw thoughts and create some applications that I'm curious about, or let's say something that would be useful for everyone, just to show. And this is like a first video in that series, but yeah, I'm planning maybe every week I create one good project using vibe coding and publish the video and also the application. Thank you. Let me know if you have any suggestions or for my next video in this series of vibe coding.